Only in Newsday, attendance is down at UBS Arena to see the Islanders. Is it the team's performance or something more? Find out at Newsday.com. Sarra Sounds Off is brought to you by Roll Up Awnings.
Welcome back to Sarra Sounds Off. I'm Greg Sarra. We are here in the Newsday newsroom, and we are super excited. We just finished 7 decades of boys basketball, 5 decades of girls basketball, the teams of the decade. Jack Agostino, one of our coaches of the decade from the 2000s, joining me today on Sarra Sounds Off. And Jack, it's great to have you. I'm glad you're able to make the time to come in.
Oh, this is such a great experience. Just hanging out with you makes it fun, so I'd do this anytime.
In your decade, where your teams from Amityville dominated, you know, you guys won 2 state federation championships, 4 state public school titles. It's pretty impressive. Tell me about that team.
Well, during that time period, actually was like one of the greatest times in Long Island basketball history. Just being able to play, like the one thing that stands out more than anything is us playing against LeBron James.
What was really cool was the backstory, how LeBron gave his team the lead with seconds left, and on a 4-point play no less, and then A.J. Price gave you guys the win at the end of the game.
We have the best press breaker in the world, Jason Frazier, A.J. Price. So if you want to press us, which was not a very good call on their part, they press us. We hit Jason. Jason sees AJ down court. LeBron chases him down, has to foul him because he has a layup. AJ goes to the foul line with 4 seconds left in the game.
Cool.
Calm as a cucumber. Missed 2 free throws right before that. Comes back, drills the first one. Place is crazy. Might have been like, you know, for a high school game, maybe 10,000 people at a high school game, which is amazing. Gets up, hits the second one. Still 3 seconds left. And I'm like, well, let's not celebrate. LeBron gets the ball, 3-quarter court. I mean, it looks good. Hits the front of the rim.
So when you look back over all the great memories and all the wins and the championships, the best state championship game where you felt like, wow, this might not be our day, but somehow you won that state title.
Yeah, that definitely jumps right off the page too, because that was Tristan Smith's senior year with Eugene Nottingham, and Jason Frazier was a junior. Double overtime game. Tristan Smith gets double team. Jason's double team, so we have nowhere to go. Tristan has the ball, sees Max Rose, who's a great football player, up the court, boom, hits it, makes a layup, game winner. Amazing story.
So what do you attribute your success in the coaching field to? Where did this all start?
I just kept learning and learning. I would go to so many games. I would go to clinics. I made great connections with college coaches who were really, really big time right now. So I just did everything I could do to learn to be a better coach. And to this day, I still learn. Like you talk about A.J. Price, the kid has got such a wealth of knowledge of basketball. I can sit with him and he's like teaching me. Amityville was always known for basketball. You know, Fred Williams was a legendary coach. I was 24 years old. This is a very sad story. He gets pancreatic cancer. He gets told around Halloween. They asked 4 different members of Amityville, community, coaches, to coach the team. They all turned it down because it was impossible shoes to fill. They come up to this dumb kid from Centeridge. Do you want to be the varsity coach? And I was like, Amityville basketball? Yeah, I'll be the varsity coach. We play Long Island Lutheran. It's brutal schedule. First game of the year. Bob McKillop, Davison legend, coaches against me. He beats me by 67 points. I was ready to quit right there. So the only thing I learned to do after that, through McNeely and through Kenny Gableman, from Dom Savino, all these great coaches, Frank Romeo, they took their teams to basketball camp. So I began to take my basketball team to Villanova. And from that point, those kids start to realize, wow, this guy's a little different. He does care about us. He's taking us places, he's buying us food. We're doing a lot more than we did with any other coach. And that's where the program started to pick up.
We talked about the decades teams. What did our series and that project do for boys basketball and girls basketball? Did it bring a lot of it back to a lot of people?
Well, that I think is the greatest part about it. Basketball's relevant again. For a while there, like high school basketball, nobody talked about it. So now you guys doing this, you and Mike Candell, which did an amazing job. Like, I don't think anybody can really pick the best players from every decade. It's so hard because there's going to be so much controversy. But for what you guys did and the criteria that you kept up, it was outstanding.
My regret was Tristan Smith from your decade, from the 2000s. And Mike just felt having 3 guys from one school and the coach in the decade was kind of a lot. When we had AJ Price and we talked about, AJ talked about, you know, how honored he was to be one of the 10 names of his decade. And I said, well, did you think we missed a couple guys? And he's like, yeah, well, can I be honest? And I was like, yeah, go ahead, give me Derek Brower. He goes, oh, there you go.
My 2 biggest, of course, I'm so, loyal to Amityville. Mike James was 13-year NBA player in the 90s. And then the other one, of course, was Tristan Smith.
And then you go to the girls' side, and, I was really comfortable with all of our girls' teams. We made one major mistake. Katie Gordon of East Islip should have been on our decades team. I didn't do good enough research on her college career. She was phenomenal at Hofstra.
Which decade was the best?
If you ask Candell, he'll tell you the 70s.
I think actually the 70s were really good.
What's different now, coaching in this generation, than when you first started?
Well, the big thing is so hard to get a kid in college right now. That is the hardest thing. Like, unless you are top 100 in the country, it's very hard. Like, you can, I'm talking about Division I. Right now with the transfer portal, with the NIL stuff, it is so hard for a high school kid to really get to that next level. I think kids are all the same, actually. They want to be coached. They want to be loved. They want the coach to really care. Go the extra mile for those kids. That has never changed. So that was when I was in high school, in the 70s and 80s, then in the 90s when I started coaching, 2000. Kids just want to be coached. That's the one thing. And the coachable players, they become successful people.
I'm going to put Jack on the spot before we let him go, because this was great. So who is your top 5 in Amityville?
Jason Frazier will always be number 1 in my heart, because what that kid has been through in his life, nobody can compare to it. He was at the top of the mountain, down in the valley. He's working his way back up. You'll see and hear from Jason Frazier very soon, I promise you that, at the college level. So Jason Frazier for sure. AJ Price, who's my assistant coach right now, who's done more in the last 5 years at Amityville, helping the community out, is amazing. Of course, Mike James, 13 years in the NBA, building that park in Amityville, doing so much for the community over the years. It's something that will stand out. I'm going to put Tristan Smith in there. He absolutely deserves it. True leader. Shelton Jones would be the 5th.
Give me some, bro.
Excellent job.
Jack was great, but now joining us another great guy. We have Michael Ciccoli, who covers boys lacrosse for Newsday. And Mike, it's great to see you. Some of the teams that we've known to be the dominant teams, not so dominant this year, although Connecticut's off to a good start at 4-2. But I asked you about a couple teams, Huntington being one of them. Pretty good teams. Fill us in.
Suffolk it's such a fascinating situation because you always have the Hills on top, right? That's the team to beat. But you have Northport that's always competitive with them. You have Huntington that's just always a great powerhouse. You bring up Connecticut. That's a team we wanted to see because they finished 9-9 last year. They beat Long in the playoffs, fell short after that. There's a lot of reasons why Connecticut could be trying to make that leap. And I think that's what makes Suffolk lacrosse just so interesting in general. Anyone could come through.
How good is Hills West and Anthony Rayo?
Hills is Anthony Rayo is the standard, right? I mean, this is the guy that is playing for Team USA on his off days, and when he's not, he's kicking it for Hills. It's definitely the team to beat.
Nassau County, again, Cold Spring Harbor is the team to beat, state champion. These guys just get after it. Can they win a state title again this year?
It's amazing what Dennis Bond does with Cold Spring Harbor every year. And they've been just terrific. You know, they beat Manhasset, they beat Syosset, they beat Massapequa, and those are 3 teams that you could easily argue any of them are the team to beat in Long Island.
How has the feedback been on your end for shot clock, the new rule?
I've mostly heard good things, and especially from the players. I think the players are universally for it. And that was something every coach told me, was that there's going to be bumps in the road. And if there are bumps in the road, it's something that they're going to iron out for the future, but ultimately I've heard positive things.
St. Anthony's and Chaminade, without a doubt, 2 of the best teams in the country. Forget Long Island, the country.
There's a lot of reasons why St. Anthony's and Chaminade, they're the best out there, and they're always the best out there, and that hasn't changed.
And that's why you're the best. This is Mike Ciccoli, And he said, you better call me Michael, because that's what my family likes, so we'll go with that. This is Michael Sicoli and Brian Heyman. You guys have done a fantastic job with all of boys lacrosse. I love it. He's sounding off, I'm sounding off. From the Newsday newsroom, I'm Greg Sarra. We'll see you again next week.